So the first thing you'll notice when you log into UniBuilder AI is we have the most insane dashboard that you will have ever seen in your life. At the very top, you can see that we have an overnight brief. These are things that the agent has been doing overnight. It's been researching opportunities across different news stories, across different keywords, across our own data, and how our sites are performing in terms of page views and analytics, and more generally also across the wider internet, across our competitors, as to what they are doing. And you can see it's unearthed these different opportunities and things that we can go and have a look at. Now, you'll see there are some quick links here at the top. We can create a new post, launch a new agent, generate a new product, launch a quick site, and clone a site, all of which I will go through as we go through this training. You'll also notice on the right that we have the site health of our different sites, both in terms of page views and the traffic that they are generating, the number of posts that they're getting, and overall how well our site is doing. And one of the cool things about this is that we've, because we've been building sites and generating traffic and making commissions and making money for so long, one of the cool things that we've done here is that we have basically preloaded all of that knowledge into the AI agents. And so normally when you get a site, you build the site goes live, and you kind of don't know what to do with it. You've got no idea how to actually manage the site, how to add content. Do you get backlinks? Do you target keywords? What on earth do you do with this site? Well, all of that knowledge is preloaded into the AI agent, and it will constantly suggest the next step for you and the agent to do to ensure that your site succeeds. Now, if we scroll down, you'll see that we have this opportunity feed, which is what the agent generates. It can run every single day. It can run every 2 days. It can run every 7 days. But you can see that there is several categories here. We have news stories, keywords, backlinks, and the brain itself, the agentic brain, is what generates these opportunities every single day. It sees what's happened on the wider web, and it decides what to put in front of your eyes. You can decide to action those, and then all you need to do is just click a button and they are going to run. So we have news stories. These are new news stories that are happening in the space. You can ask the AI to go and create content about those. We have backlinks, which are the backlinks that our competitors are getting. We can go and clone those backlinks. We have keywords, which the AI has found, which we will want to target. And then we have AI suggestions, which are general AI suggestions based on all of the things that are going on our site. Now, in terms of launching agents, the way it works is you have one agent per site. You obviously will want your agent to be focused on what your site is about. You'll enter a description, you'll enter some keywords, you'll enter the competitors, and then that is sufficient for the AI agent to kick in. You can have it run every day, twice a week, and also once a week. And one of the cool things about the tool, which I'll come on to in just a second, is the ability to create not just entire sites and not just run them and grow them agentically, but also the ability to create pages. And this is something that really kind of taps into the cloning engine and the page composer, which I'll also come into and demonstrate in a second. But the idea of adding a product, there's kind of two ways to do this. One is to add a product that's one of your own, and that will then allow you to build an entire site around that product, not just the sales pages or the blog pages, but also, organic content and posts that will supplement that particular product. But what we can also do is we can basically find an affiliate program that we want to promote and drop this in as a product. And now it becomes a product, or rather, as we call it, an identity that we can build a page, a sales page, an affiliate review, a landing page, an upsell, any type of page we can build around that given product. So you can see here I've put a description for ClickFunnels, which is a UniBuilder competitor. You can see I've put a few kind of tongue-in-cheek comments here in terms of the price, in terms of the lack of AI features. But if we actually scroll down, you can see that we have all of these different fields pre-filled by the AI. Now, of course, if the AI can pull this information from the page, it will do so. If it can't, then it will generate those and kind of fill in the blanks, which is really, really cool. It means that you basically have all of this data here, which you can then go in and edit and tweak, and which will now be used and will now be referenced for any page going forward. Okay. So that is the product generator, and that is how that works. Now, if I scroll down, you'll see we have a field quick site, and this is one of the most powerful features within UniBuilder, not just the ability to agentically manage and grow sites, but the ability to agentically launch an entire site, a multi-page site, a site with content, with posts, with images, with the entire site structure, the nav bar, the footer, the header, a sales page, all of these things, affiliate reviews, everything that you want, all from a single text prompt, okay? And the way that this one works is we just go over to the quick site page, we enter a description of the site that we want, we click on get 3 proposals, and the AI will then generate those proposals. It will come back with 3 different ideas for the site. We choose the one that we want, and then it will build out the entire site, and we can basically just publish it in a single click. And so you can see here's a page that we've built. This is the confirmation page. These are all the different pages that it's suggested. We can go in, of course, edit one of these, but we click a button and we publish this. The site is now live, and then later on we assign an agent to the site, and it's now going to go and continue to grow this site off the back of a single text prompt. And by the way, the cool thing about this is that the web host that we recommend is actually a free web host. You can, of course, upgrade and add various features, but it's absolutely fine to use this web host called Netlify, is the one that we recommend. Entirely for free. You just go and register a domain. You don't even have to register a domain. You can use a subdomain if you really want to, but you can register a domain, assign that to Netlify, and now your site is live. And all you need to do to update the site is update it on UniBuilder and then drop that into Netlify, and it will then go and build your site. Your site is now hosted on the web and is managed agentically. It really is that simple. It's absolutely insane how powerful this thing is, but how simple it is to actually get these sites live. Now, the next feature I want to talk about is the clone engine, which is the ability to clone websites, okay? And we've put a lot of time into thinking about how we actually approach this, because the basic idea to cloning sites is it really comes down to 3 components. The first one is the identity, which is the same as the product idea I just talked about a second ago. The second one is the design, the style sheet, the font, the images. And the third one is the structure of the site, the sections and the blocks rather. And so what we've basically done is we've split all 3 of these up. And so when you clone a site, you just go over to the clone page, you enter the URL of any site that you want to clone, be it a sales page, a SaaS website, an affiliate review page, an e-commerce website, a blog, whatever the site is that you want to clone. You put the URL in here, you click the clone, it's then going to run for a few minutes. And then what it will do is it will create, firstly, the site identity, which relates to the copy and the features and the niche and the keywords and the tags and the headlines, and basically what the words of the site are about. Secondly, it will clone the design, which is the color scheme and the fonts. And then thirdly, it will clone the blocks, which are the structural parts of the site. So does it have a hero block at the top? Does it have a nav bar? Does it have a layout with an image and 3 bullet points on the right? And then does it have a tagline with a big call to action button? It will basically decompose the blocks. And so what you end up with once you enter the URL of any website to clone is you end up with a page which has which can be cloned and remixed now in between the site identity, the design style, and the blocks. And so what we can do is we can mix and match all of these, and we can create a site, a page that we're happy with, and then we can just say, actually, you know what? We want to take that same design, that same structural layout, that same color scheme, but now combine it with a new product. Or we want to take this product, but actually, instead of doing a sales page for it, we want to generate an OTO for it, or we want to generate a landing page, and that is literally just a change of these menus here. Okay, it's absolutely insane. We also have backlinks, and this is one of the things that I'm actually most proud of. This is actually a relatively simple kind of isolated part of the tool, but what we do is we basically pull up all the top backlinks for our competitors. And, the thing about backlinks I've found is it seems very, very scary, very, very intimidating. In actual fact, when you go and research and look at what your competitors are doing in terms of generating backlinks, you'll find in most cases that there are a few sites that are, very, very easy to get backlinks from, talking about sites where you can submit things very simply. You can submit links, you can submit articles. In some cases, you can just go and buy your way in and just and buy a link. These are things that are very, very easy to do. We don't need to try and, turn backlinks in 2026 into some kind of mysterious thing. They are known quantities. And the simplest thing, of course, that we want to do is to go and find backlinks that our competitors are using, and then gradually over the course of a few days and a few weeks, and maybe in some cases a few months, start to replicate those backlinks. Now, there's two ways to do this. One is to go to the backlinks page and actually research backlinks. The second way to do this, though, is to simply add your competitors and have the AI agent go and find their backlinks so that you can now go in and clone them. And then finally on this page, we have the content that we've actually generated over the last few days, or more accurately, in most cases, that the AI agent has generated or recommended for us to post, actually. And we can go and now post these up ourselves. So that is the homepage, that is the dashboard. Hopefully you can see that the vast majority of this is done agentically, it's done automatically. This is not something that we need to do. We can go in and dive into all these different pages and fine tune things and create things and do things manually. But it is either 99% automated, or in most cases now it is 100% done by the AI agents. So once again, and we are going to go through some of the pages in a bit more detail now, but once again, if you want to get access to this, go to UniBuilderAI.com. This is the most powerful website building tool on the planet Earth. It is the only truly agentic website builder tool. It's the only one that can create sales pages, affiliate pages, generate traffic, find zero competition, 0-day Google keywords, and clone websites in a way that no other tool can do. Okay, so if you've ever been to a website, you've seen the website and thought, that is amazing, I wish I could do copy like that, design like that, structure like that, then this is the only tool that can truly clone websites on that kind of level. Okay, and so if you want to get access to this and get it at the special today only discount, then go to unibuilderai.com right now for full access to everything here. So I just want to run through some of these pages now, because there's a lot that I've been through there when I went through that dashboard, went through the homepage. There's just so much stuff, and I know that probably some of the things that I've kind of glossed over a little bit, but some of these features are insane. Some of these features are like a $1,000 product in and of itself. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the quick site, because I've been building websites now for well over 2 decades, actually. I think the first site I built, believe it or not, was in 1997. Okay, I had to go and buy the domain from Internet, which, because I was a kid back then, I did by getting a postal order and sending it all the way from the UK to the United States. And then Internet sent me a letter back saying, yes, you own this domain. So, I've been doing this for a very, very long time. But what's happened over the last few decades is, as websites have become more and more complicated, both to build and to manage, it's become very, very intimidating for the average person to build a site and then to manage it. What we have here, though, is a quick site builder, which builds out an entire site from a single text prompt. Now, there are tools out there that will build out a single page, and that's really, really cool. That's really, really powerful. Of course, UniBuilder can do that. It's very, very simple to build out a page. We just clone a few sites and then recombine them and then go in manually and edit them later on. But what I'm talking about here is creating an entire site with various posts, different category sections, the entire navbar, images, the whole thing fully preloaded, all from a single text prompt. And so all you need to do is to enter the idea for your site here. The AI will then generate 3 different proposals. You choose the one that you want, you click go, and then you come back a few minutes later and your site has literally been built. Okay. And there's kind of, different ways that we can do this. One is to create the site with the quick site feature I've just talked about. Another one is to start from scratch, which is more for advanced users. And then the third one is to clone a page, which I'll come on to in a second, and which is actually my favorite feature. The way that this one works is we first clone a single page. This is typically a sales page or an affiliate page or some kind of landing page or a SaaS homepage, a single page that we really want to put a lot of time into. and then we don't really have any interest or any inclination to go and build out like a 25-page site. And so the rest of it, we just kind of outsource to the AI and say, look, the main page is done, the anchor page is done. That's the money page. Now you go off and you do the rest. And so we'll talk about how this one works in just a second. Like I say as well, when we're talking about individual pages, one of the cool things about this is the product feature. And what this does is it allows you to start off not with a idea for a site or with an idea for a niche, but rather to start off with a specific product that you want to sell. Because let's be real, most of us have a product that we want to sell, either our own product or maybe an affiliate program. We want to make money and make commissions from that product. And the website is quite frankly just a vehicle to do that. And so all these things that, we're supposed to do, building out a multi-page site, going and getting backlinks, getting keywords, traffic, and creating content and doing all this kind of stuff, it's a distraction from the fact that we just want to make money from selling a single product. Now, when it comes to building out a website around a product that we want to sell that's our own product, we can come in here and we can put in information about that product, click this button, and the AI will then pre-fill all of this content, which can then be reused and anchored off for every single page on the site. Now, sometimes it will go in and build out a sales page or build out an upsell or build out a landing page firmly focused around the site. But in some cases, it will simply give, a certain level of deference to the broad idea of what the site is about. And rather than just kind of creating a page fully focused on this, it will create content ideas and things of that nature around the site. But one of the things that I love about this page, the new product page, is we can use this to enter product information about affiliate programs that we want to promote. So rather than having to start off with building out an entire site and choosing a niche and coming at it from that way, when all we want to do is to create a mini site promoting a specific product, we can just drop this product information in from the URL of the sales page that we want to promote. And it will then pre-fill all of this content. And then off the back of this, it will go and create out the entire site. And then when it comes to publishing it, like say we just go over to the publish page, the AI will have already created all this content. We just come in here, we choose the pages that we want to publish, which in most cases is all of them, and we click download, and then we literally download and drag that zip file into a web host, which I've mentioned before, Netlify. You can, of course, if you've got, if you're old school like me, you do probably still have some cPanel FTP style sites. You can just drag the files into those as well. But Netlify is the one. If you don't have a web host, you don't want to spend $200 a year or whatever it is they charge nowadays, then you can just go over to a Netlify, create a free account, drag the zip file in, and it is literally that simple. While we're talking about the AI agent side of things, I just want to pull up the AI agent page, because the basic idea for this is that we can go in and create an AI agent which will manage our sites. So we want to put in a description of the agent. We want to put in keywords that the agent should track, and both in terms of our competitors and also in terms of keywords and related keywords that we can target, and also in terms of news stories, and then the specific competitors and what they're up to as well, because they're going to be constantly finding new keywords, coming up with new ideas, generating new backlinks. We want to see what those guys are up to, because they are going to do the research for us. And then our AI agents can just basically replicate what they're doing, decide which of those strategies we should bring into our business. And, and then it's just all the work is done for us through that kind of two-step process of looking at what others are doing and then having the AI agent track, rank, and decide what we should do next. And then we just click a button and that is accepted. And we can have our agents run daily, twice a week, or once every single week. We click create and the agent runs. And it's just that simple. Also, while we're talking about the agents, just want to talk about some of the pages that we have in here. One of them is the Keywords Bank. This is, in my opinion, the most powerful keyword research tool on planet Earth. It lets us find highly scored, low competition keywords that have high CPC, are trending upwards, and crucially have very, very low keyword difficulty, because, as I've mentioned throughout this entire presentation, there's no point us targeting a keyword if we cannot rank for it. And so you can manually go in here and go to the keywords page and go and find these keywords yourself and create content about them. or you can simply have the AI agent take control of this entire process and research keywords for you every single day. It's completely up to you. Another thing that we have, which, quite frankly, no one else has that I've seen out there, is we integrate with a site called PostHog, which you probably never heard about, which I'll tell you why we integrate with PostHog in a second, to pull up analytics data. Now, there's a couple of reasons we pull up analytics data and show the amount of traffic that we're getting. One, of course, is it just means that you can go straight to the dashboard and you can see all of your sites, all of the traffic that they're getting, both in terms of the overall sites, but also in terms of the individual pages. But the second reason that we do it is because that data, data of how the sites are performing, feeds back into the agent, and the agent now, based on the traffic that each page is getting, each post is getting, each niche is getting, each keyword, each tag, can now decide what the next step should be for our website. And this is something that previously we would have to do manually. You would spend ages, months and months creating a site. You would publish it. You would eke out these terrible backlinks. Maybe if you were lucky, you would start to see a trickle of traffic. You would then go over to analytics. You would break down exactly where that trickle is coming from. You would then, do a strategic plan as to the different keywords that you should look at next and possible different topics. You would go and do even further research. Finally, after a few weeks, you would then go and create a couple of posts. You would publish the post, and then the whole cycle would repeat. That flywheel, that entire process is now done via the agent. The agent decides what site to create. It decides what content to initially post. It decides what backlinks to get, what keywords to target, and then it reviews the data every single day as to what is trending, what pages are working, what is not working, and then it creates more of the stuff that is working. Now, PostHog, by the way, is a free service. They allow up to 1 million per month in terms of data points, which works out, probably something like around 100 pages tracked every hour or so. So we are talking a ton of traffic and a massive network of maybe 10 to 100 sites before you need to pay those guys a penny, okay? It's a free service that we integrate with. And it just means that we can provide basically Google Analytics data to the agent very, very quickly, okay? So that's the analytics page. It's crucial both for your peace of mind. It means you can log into that dashboard and see how your entire network's doing, but it's also crucial to the agent as well in terms of basically the activity that it has and the intelligence that it has, so it can actually take action and start to manage our sites properly, not just based on what it thinks and what our competitors are doing, but based on how our specific sites are actually performing. And very quickly, I just want to go over to the new post page. This is something that, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on because this is normally what the agent will do. We actually normally wouldn't even see this page. But if we do want to manually create a post, we just go over to new post. We choose our site. We choose our category. We enter an initial seed keyword. We then click on suggest titles. The AI generates possible titles. We can generate a hero image if we want. We can go and research this using deep web research. Which is a feature that by the time you actually see this, it'll be live. And by the time that you jump in late today, that's going to be live. But the basic idea is we can create these web posts. And by the way, in terms of the images, just one thing I want to be absolutely clear on. For image creation, we have the option to turn on image creation for all posts. We use some very, 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 very cheap models for image creation. I'm talking less than 1 cent per image. And you can also switch models over to Google Nano Banana 2 Lite, which is around 3 cents per image. If you want to do that, that is really the only kind of cost that you're going to incur for these posts. Everything else is just done for under a cent. In terms of managing these sites per day, it's insanely cheap, okay, to do all of this, because the AIs that are good enough to do this are so cheap because of the prompting and the structure and the scaffolding that goes around all of this, okay? But you can go in manually and create posts if you want. You can edit posts, of course. You can, do this 100 times per day if you want to do that. But we prefer to let the agent manage the entire flow, the entire loop. If you want to jump in though and get your hands dirty, this is the page to kind of do that. And we also have this backlink research feature, which I talked about before. This is insanely powerful, okay? In my opinion, this is the most powerful backlink research tool on planet Earth. It allows us to see all of the backlinks that our competitors are researching, but it's also got this language model, this AI component built in. So before we sort of see the fire hose of all of our competitors' backlinks, we pass that information to a language model, to GPT-5, in fact, and say, here's the fire hose of our competitors with the domain rank, the competition score, all these kinds of metrics for all these different pages. Now, please, can you go through each of them and rank them based on ease of us being able to get the backlinks, whether we have to pay for them, whether they have a high spam rating. All of these different things just give us the top backlinks for us to go and target, and then you can just go in and basically steal your competitors' backlinks, but more accurately, the backlinks that the AI thinks are your competitors' backlinks, so are your competitors' best backlinks, okay? So this feature on its own, in my opinion, would be worth the asking price alone. But of course, this is like, page 27. And it's also one that generally you won't even see because the AI agent does all of this for you, okay? The clone site feature is one that I definitely want to spend a moment on, because this is a feature which is, in my opinion, the most powerful. It makes this the most powerful page building tool, okay? So up till now, the site builder, the quick site, the agentic flow, the backlinks, the keywords, it's really been about building sites. But in a lot of cases, we just want to build pages, okay? We don't want to build a multi-page site. We just want to have a single sales page, a single affiliate page, a single landing page. And very often we go into this knowing that we want to create a landing page that has a series of sections. Maybe if it's a review page, it's got a video at the top. It has some bullet points and some benefits. It has a big call to action. It has a big image. And then it's got a footer, and that's literally the page. If it's a sales page, it's got a headline and then a video and some bullet points and benefits and a few images and so on and so forth. And so we know what the structure is. We maybe have a style that we like, that we've used for our previous sites in terms of maybe dark mode color scheme, maybe a Montserrat font or whatever it is. And then we want to take that and we want to use it for a specific product. So we kind of go into this, if we want to build a page, knowing there's not really that much that we want to spend time thinking about. All the decisions have been made. And essentially what we're doing is cloning a previously used layout, cloning a design style that we like, and then fitting it to a new product, okay? And that's very often true, whether it's a sales page for one of our own products, it's an affiliate page, it's a webinar landing page, it's an opt-in page, or even if it's a SaaS, a lot of the time it's very much kind of a simple thing. But unfortunately, there is nothing out there that allows us to move that quickly. What we have to do is to basically go and come into some clunky, user interface. That means that we have to start clicking around. We have to build a page. We have to start to create the copy, and we have to start to choose a design, and we have to try and edit the design because it's not the one that we want. We want to do something slightly different. And basically the website design and building process, the UI for pretty much every single tool out there in 2026 does not match the intent of the average person, which is that, damn it, we just want to create a quick site around this product in this kind of style, in this kind of layout. A sales page, an opt-in page, a landing page, a squeeze page, an e-commerce page, whatever the page is, an affiliate review page, a blog site, a SaaS site. We just want to quickly create a site around this specific intent. Now, there's no way to do it, and there's not really an easy way to define any of those things aside from this, which is the clone site feature within UniBuilder AI. And the reason that this is so powerful is because each time you enter a URL into this page, it clones not just a site, but it clones the site in 3 different ways. And so the first way it clones it is the identity in the product, okay? And that is what I talked about before. This is what a cloned identity looks like. You can see all of these different fields here, all of the different kind of keywords and ideas and taglines and copy lines and things like that. So when we clone an identity, what we are basically cloning is the keywords and the copy and the words that relate to that particular product. But secondly, we can also clone the design and the CSS. And as you can see here, that basically relates to the color palette and the fonts. And for fonts, we're going to pull in the top two fonts. We are going to pull in a display font, which is the one that appears in the headlines, and then also a paragraph font, which is the one that kind of appears within the copy itself. And of course, we can change these, we can mix and match these later. And then the third thing we are going to clone is the blocks and layouts, which is like the structure, the sequence of the page itself. And if you were talking about a sales page or an affiliate review page or a blog page or a post or a squeeze page, all of these things would have like a distinct sequence. And so you can think of these three things as the copy, the words, the product that we're promoting, the color scheme, the CSS, the design, and then the type of site and the structure and what the site's actually about. But what's cool is every time that we clone a site, we clone all three of these components, and then we can mix and match them into a distinct combination that has never been done before. And so we can basically recreate a site. We can add a site identity once, we can clone a site design once, we can clone a layout of one of our own pages or a competitor's page, and then we can mix and match them. And, you know, just switching the product every time that we want to do a new affiliate review, we want to do a new sales page, we want to create a sales page for our product and then also create upsells and so on. It is literally a case of switching a few things in and out, okay? And then finally as well, we also have done for you templates as well, which are the preloaded templates, okay? So you can, of course, go in and clone your own pages, which is just, you know, very, very easy to do. But we are also including over $10 million worth of our own sites into the system so you can start with those proven sites across many different types, not just sales pages and affiliate review pages, but landing pages, upsells and OTO, squeeze pages, SaaS websites, blog sites, authority sites in a given category. There are just so many different types that you can choose from that you can get started with, and they're all preloaded in the system if you don't want to just go in and start cloning sites as well.